Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, man, continuing to cook up some NFL preseason football off of a great day yesterday, 3-1 overall. We had the Texans as the play of the day. Seattle got the dub. The under cashed in that Texans game as well. And the Seahawks-Vikings actually went over at the end. So that was the one loss out of the four options we covered yesterday. But that brings us to now 2-0 this year on exclusive premium plays in the NFL preseason. And we look to keep the momentum rolling forward into today. I appreciate all y'all joining me. We have 6 games on the card today, and I'm here to break down all of them. I was running a little behind, I'll be honest, so my graphics, I won't have them today. I should have them back moving forward after today. So we're just going to talk some preseason football, try to make some money, keep the momentum rolling forward. Remember, we were 20-7 last preseason for 1,100 units. We are now 2-0 for plus 225 units this year. Trying to keep it rolling. If you want my premium plays, my bets that I'm placing, the ones that I have the most money on, check me out, Pick Dogs Premium. Those where those exclusive plays are. I am still finna go through all 6 games with y'all right here, though. First game up, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Packers favored by 4.5 here in this game. I understand why the Packers are favored here. Firstly, home field advantage in the preseason is so you got to kind of put that to the side. Matt LaFleur, he came out and said that his starters will play in some capacity in this game today. So we've now seen, I think this line opened around 1. We've now seen it crawl up to 3, 3.5, now 4.5. With that being said, I think all the value is on the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going to grab the points with them there. I'm not sure how long Jordan Love and the starters play in this game. He said they play in some capacity. That could be 1 drive. That could be 2 drives. That could be 3. As I told y'all, every time we talk about the preseason, don't fall in love with looking at the starters in these games. Do not fall in love with that, because third, fourth quarter is when these preseason games are won and lost, and who we are betting on in that moment are the third and fourth string players. So those are the players we need to evaluate more, and depth in the preseason means more than anything. I think in just about every game that I've played thus far, the other team jumped out to a lead. I felt very comfortable knowing that the depth for the teams that I had, who we have, the Texans yesterday, would come back and win that football game, and the Browns, day one, fell down, came back and won the football game. Seattle even fell down yesterday, came back and won the game. It's the depth. And I think Cincinnati is probably more equipped here in this situation than Green Bay. Head coaching-wise, Matt LaFleur and I'm forgetting Cincinnati's coach, Zach Taylor. They are not really bet-on situation coaches in the preseason. Neither one of them really take it all that seriously. You know, we saw Aaron Rodgers not play last year for Green Bay. We saw a lot of Jordan Love, but it really didn't translate into wins for Green Bay last year in the preseason. And I'm not overly in love with them, and I'm not willing to lay 4.5 in this preseason game with Green Bay. So I think the value's on Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati has the better quarterback room as well when we go look at that. Cincinnati has Jake Browning and Trevor Siemian. I expect both of those guys to probably play about a half. They also have Reed Sinnett. I'm not really sure if he gets in there or if we see much of him, but I suspect that Browning and Siemian are better than the collective group that the Packers are going to try to put out there. Sean Clifford, Alex McGough, Jordan Love. And like I said, I'm not sure Jordan Love even plays extended amount of time in this football game. So definitely leaning in the direction of grabbing the points with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I would probably also look at an under in this football game. It's currently listed at 35, pretty low. As I said, week 1 in the preseason, I think we're going to see a lot of low-scoring football games, as a lot of running the football, a lot of time coming off the clock, a lot of punts, a lot of ugly football. Now, the Seattle and Minnesota snuck over the total yesterday at 37, I believe. I don't see a whole lot of scoring in this game either, and I think it's going to be a lot of time and clock being wasted. So I would lean under in Green Bay, Cincinnati. Next up, Atlanta, Miami. We got the Falcons favored by 2.5 in this game. This is a tough one. I think the line is probably right where it's at, right where it should be. In my head, I think the Falcons win this game by 3, but I'm not overly rushing to go bet this football game. Both coaches have not given us a whole lot of information on what they're going to do. And both coaches, in my opinion, they're not coaches that I think are going to go all out in the preseason. Quarterback room. Let's talk quarterback room. For the Atlanta Falcons, I would suspect that Desmond Ridder will get some snaps today. Younger quarterback. I think he gets some snaps, help him get back into the flow of football. Second-year guy who didn't start a ton last year. I see him playing a good amount today. Behind him, Taylor Heinicke. I like Heinicke. Heinicke has a lot of starts for the Washington Commanders, or had, I should say. And if he gets some preseason action, I think we'll see him flourish and look pretty good. And then behind him is Logan Woodside. I'm not really sure what to expect from Mr. Woodside, but I think Ridder and Heinicke get the bulk of the snaps today. And I think between those two, that is the better quarterback room. Even though I do like the Miami Dolphins quarterback room, it makes this game tough. Skylar Thompson, we saw him get some starts last year after Teddy Bridgewater and Tua got hurt. And then the Jets savior, Mike White, is now in this quarterback room as well. So they have a decent quarterback room over there in Miami. I'm not sure Mike McDaniel, like I said, he hasn't really said what he's going to do with his starters if Tua and them are going to play. So it's not really just a whole lot of information out there on this game. In my mind, the way I think through it, I don't see a scenario with Miami playing their guys a ton. We know what Miami is. We've already seen one of their top-tier stars go down and will miss some substantial time in Jalen Ramsey. I think this is a Dolphins team that health throughout the season is their main concern. We saw their season, I think, in my opinion, was derailed by health last year. So I wouldn't imagine them risking health in week 1 of the preseason. I just wouldn't imagine that. So I do understand why the Falcons are favored. I think the Falcons use this as a game to improve some of their younger guys, Ridder, Bijan Robinson, get them some actual reps. I think the Falcons are the better team here in this game today, and I lean their direction, laying the 3 points. Total-wise, 36.5. I kind of lean over. I'm not totally in love with it. It's just a small lean on the over. I could just see some points being scored. I could see a couple of these running backs probably busting one. I could see just a little more scoring in this game to get a slightly over 36.5. So Atlanta and over for Falcons-Dolphins today. Next up, on to game number 3. We got the Steelers and the Bucks. Pittsburgh laying 2.5. On the road. I'm going to roll with Mike T. Mike T has been a winner in the preseason, and I think he's going to get another dub today. I like the quarterback room over there for the Steelers. I think it has a lot of experience there, and I think any guy that they have in there will do us well with our pocketbook tonight. Kenny Pickett, their young guy, second-year guy, I would imagine he plays maybe a quarter or 2-3 drives, something along those lines. Behind him, we got Mitch Trubisky, a veteran at this point. I'm in the regular season. Am I looking to back Mitchell Trubisky? No. In the preseason against 3s and 4s, a guy that has been a franchise guy for Chicago, has seen a certain amount of starts. Am I afraid of betting Mitch Trubisky? I am not. So I kind of like him in this situation preseason going up against backups. And then behind him, I even kind of like this guy a little bit in preseason action in Mason Rudolph. So I like the quarterback room for the Steelers. And behind him is Tanner Morgan. Kind of like him as well. Tanner Morgan, we know him out of Minnesota, was there for, I feel like, forever. I feel like he got a little swag to his game, maybe able to do a few things there. When we go look at the Bucks, I just don't know what to expect from the Bucks. They weren't good in the preseason last year. Not in love with their quarterback room with Baker, Trask, Wolford. Wolford is a guy who is a little slept on for preseason action, but I don't see him getting much work today with the quarterback battle that is going on between Mayfield and Trask. I can see those guys playing probably half and half of the game. But, neither of those guys really excite me. I don't think their top-tier receivers play. So I like Pittsburgh in this game. I think the Steelers win that game. And I definitely would probably lay the 2.5 here in that spot with them Total-wise, 39. I would probably go under here. I think it's slightly too high. I do think we see some points scored here, but I think 39 is slightly too high. We also have to remember extra points and stuff like that are not kicked often in the preseason. Usually they go for 2 in capacity. You know, weird football games going on. I think we might see, you know, a few points taken off the board that might have been there. Maybe they should have taken a field goal and they go for it on 4th down. You know, those type of things that keep this game slightly underneath the total of 39. All right, 3 more to go. Next up, we got the Lions and the Giants. The G-Men are favored by 3 on the road. I would look at the G-Men in this game. I would. Let's look at the quarterback rooms. For Detroit, I kind of like what they got going. Teddy Bridgewater, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, Adrian Martinez. I'm not really sure what's up with Martinez. He is from Kansas State. So, you know, I do think we could see him have some game. But am I in love with him here in this spot? No, I am not. Hendon Hooker probably won't play. I think he's still rehabbing his ACL injury. Bridgewater. I like Bridgewater, but what do I expect from Bridgewater in the preseason game? Can he come out here and dice it up? Yes. Can he come out here and get hurt like we always see Bridgewater do? I know that sounds kind of messed up, but it's the reality of the situation. Yeah. Do I expect Jared Goff to get a lot of minutes today? I don't, especially not game 1. So on the other side, the G-Men, I think the G-Men come to play. I think Daniel Jones gets some roster time today, or get some playing time, I should say. I think Tyrod Taylor is a guy who's going to get the bulk of the minutes, and I love me some Tyrod Taylor. He's a bet-on guy for me, especially in the preseason. And then behind him, Tommy DeVito. DeVito is out of Illinois, so yeah, I'm not really sure what we're going to expect from him at the NFL level. But I think the Giants, who approached the preseason last year pretty seriously, approach it again pretty seriously this year. I could see, again, Daniel Jones getting some time. I could see the Giants establishing the Giant style of football, defense and running the football, which I think translates well in the preseason. And I could see them getting a dub and beating the Lions team, who I'm not really sure what their preseason goals are. Dan Campbell is not really a winner in the preseason. He's just, you know, he kind of just approaches it as it is. So I don't really necessarily seeing them changing their approach. So I'm on the G-Men in that one. I think the G-Men win that football game. Total-wise, right now I am seeing 35. I don't really have anything on a total in this game because I'm not sure what I'm going to see really from Detroit. So maybe a lean to the under, a small lean to the under for me. That's what I'll do. I'll lean to the under there in that one between Giants and Lions. But I like the G-Men laying the points on the road in that one. All right, we got the Browns and the Commanders. We bet on the Browns in the Hall of Fame game as DTR came through. It looked pretty good there in the end. Kellen Mond did not look that well. Looks like Deshaun Watson will get some playing time in this game today, and so will their backup quarterback, Joshua Dobbs. How much time? I don't know. Is that a drive? Is that 2 drives? Is it a quarter? I'm not sure how long Watson and or Dobbs are going to play. It looks like they're going to play all 4 quarterbacks, so maybe everybody gets a quarter is what I'm probably thinking, but I don't know. Kellen Mond didn't look good last week, so if he's the guy that's going to be in there 3rd, 4th quarter, I'd probably think about fading the Browns here in this game. I don't think Watson or Dobbs do a whole lot of damage early. I just don't think that. I think Washington, a defensive football team, plays pretty good defense to start this game today against the starters. And I actually think that Washington's quarterback room is decent. Sam Howell, their young rookie quarterback who is going to be starting for them this year, I would imagine, or not rookie, but second-year guy who only got like 1 start under his belt last year. I would expect him to get some minutes today. I would expect Fromm, who, you know, Georgia, I expect him to get some minutes today. And then behind him is Jacoby Brissett. So pretty solid there. Probably one of the best backups in the league in Brissett. So I kind of like the quarterback room there for the Commanders. I think they're going to play their style of football in the preseason. Ron Rivera is like a 50-50 guy in the preseason, so he does win, but he does lose in that same breath. I don't see the motivation on the other side for Cleveland to push me in that direction and not laying points. So I kind of like getting the points here with Washington, and I would not be surprised at all if Washington won this football game. So I think Washington, again, plays their style of football, defense. I think they run the football, and I think their quarterback room's a little bit better. I think they got some pretty good depth on that team as well. I'm going to roll with the Commanders, getting the points, and maybe a sneaky money line spot. I would probably lean under in this football game as well, week 1. Probably going through some growing pains for the Commanders. I don't think Cleveland just jumps out firing either. Total is kind of high at 38.5 for a preseason game. Leaning under here in this one, Washington, Cleveland. All right, we got 2 to go. 2 to go. Next up, no, 1 to go. Sorry, last one. We got the Broncos and the Cardinals. Broncos favored by 5.5 over the Cardinals. A lot of people think the Cardinals are going to be the worst team in football this year. I understand why they may think that. They got a rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie defensive coordinator, or first year, I should say. The Broncos, they got a new head coach over there, Sean Payton, trying to change a culture, trying to shake things up over there in Denver. Looks like the starters will play for Denver today. But am I looking at like 5.5 with the Broncos in the preseason? I am not. I think this is probably the most trappiest line in all of them. I think most people are going to see that Sean Payton, the Broncos, they're playing starters, and they're playing arguably the worst team and want to just hop on the Broncos. And I think that's why we see this line arguably the highest of the weekend. It's the highest today. I would go the other way. It's preseason football. I think that, like I said yesterday with DeMeco Ryans, I kind of like betting first-year head coaches in their first preseason game. They want to get morale in the building. They want to get some winning momentum going, especially teams that are supposed to be bad. Houston, the Cardinals. You want some positive momentum in your building, and I think you can kind of build some of that, or at least a false tense of that in preseason. And I would think the Cardinals compete today in this football game. I don't expect the starters for the Broncos to play more than a quarter. And so after that, how deep is this Broncos team? You know what I mean? So laying 5.5 in a preseason game where a lot of things can happen, 2-point conversions, 4th down going for it, things like that. I think that the Cardinals come to compete today, and that's what before doing any roster diving, I kind of thought that. But when I do go look at the roster for the Cardinals, I think their quarterback room is okay. We got my guy, Colt McCoy, Texas, still in the league, holding strong, 36. He getting old, man, but solid backup. I think we all can agree he's a solid backup in the league. Is he one of the best? No, I think he's about a middle-of-the-pack backup. But for preseason action, oh, yeah, I think Colt McCoy can get in there and do some damage. Behind him, Jeff Driscoll, David Blau, just, older journeymen that have been in the league, seen plenty of preseason action. I think they'll be just fine in this game, and I think the Cardinals plus 5.5 is a great place to be. I also think sprinkling some on the money line on them is not a bad idea either. Total, maybe an over here. I can see some points just being scored in this game. So an over there. That's all 6 games, man. I just broke them down, let y'all know what was on my mind, my thought process of going through these preseason games. So hopefully we keep it rolling. Again, I'll run it through one more time. Last year in the preseason, we were 20-7 on documented plays in the preseason for plus 1,100 units. If you want those plays, they're at Pick Dogs Premium. Just click the link in the description. Takes you right to my page. Thus far this year, on documented plays in the preseason, we're 2-0. Cleveland and Houston yesterday. So trying to keep it rolling there. We were 3-1 on the video yesterday. So trying to keep that rolling as well. I broke down all 6 games, but my documented plays are over at Pick Dogs Premium. We got a huge baseball card today, so I definitely have some baseball action for y'all there. Been positive units there all season. So just letting y'all know what I got going on over at Pick Dogs Premium. I appreciate y'all joining me today. We'll be back tomorrow as we got, I think, 6 more NFL preseason games. My boys in action, so I'm excited to watch them. See y'all boys tomorrow. Y'all can come check out the morning show as well, as I'll be there with Chris and Mitch 9:30 my time. So see y'all there. It's been your guy Jay Briggs. Appreciate y'all joining me, man. Let's make some money today, and I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace.